Okay, so that's part 1 of the prologue, and now on to part 2. December 27th, 2019. The blizzard has come and gone. Now all that remains is clear blue sky. Before long, the pale blue is marked by a single black dot on the approach of a helicopter. The helicopter brings important passengers, and the harsh reality that the end is close at hand. "44 visitors cleared and registered. All entrants are permitted to enter Chaldea by special exemption granted by the Association Board of Safety. Opening the front gate. Welcome, Goredolf Musik. Welcome, you and inspectors. On behalf of Chaldea, we thank you for coming." So this is it. I wonder what this new director of the Mage Association will, wait. I wonder what this new director of the Mage Association chose is like. Goredolf Musik. Male, 28 years old, heir to the wealthy family of alchemists. At the clock tower where the Mage Association is headquartered, he's considered to be, well, about average. Much as the Musiks can boast of long familiar history within the world of magecraft, they essentially have accomplished nothing. The only thing that sets them apart from the others is the extra bit of wealth that they've accumulated by virtue of existing longer. Goredolf's basically just a rich brat with a well-off family. The question is, why did someone like that end up as Chaldea's new director? I can't be certain until we meet them ourselves, but if I were to guess... Oh ho! Oh ho ho! This is great! Better than great! I didn't have very high hopes for a lab out in the middle of nowhere, but you can imagine my surprise and delight with how modern it all is. In fact, I think it might be a little more advanced than the ones in London. What a bargain! Speak of the devil, he certainly got a voice for his voice. Just remember, Gabriel, silence is golden. Trust me, this is the sort of person whose bad side you want to avoid more than Olga Marie's. Piss him off, and you'll never hear the end of it. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, is that the dude from Fate Apocrypha? Like, he looks a lot like one of the dudes from Fate Apocrypha. What's his name? I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was one of the masters. Who's his servant? I can't remember. Siegfried. He was Siegfried's original master. Oh, you must be the servant I heard about in the report. You certainly do look the part. Let's see, Leonardo da Vinci, was it? Not bad at all for a replica of a well-known genius. I did always prefer a beautiful woman for a familiar. Your Excellency, I believe that remark could be considered sexual harassment. Remember that a servant is, for all intents and purposes, the acting director. Though it amounts to a little more than running a dinky factory out in the sticks, she has managed to keep Chaldea going in lieu of a proper director over the past year. It would be in your best interest to get on her good side. Why not lead with a compliment? Haha. Koya... Okay, hang on. Koyanskaya. I thought that I told you to whisper these sort of things to me. Besides, I have no intention of getting chummy with the servant, no matter how beautiful she may be. Why, thank you. You're the last person I'd ever want to hear that from, but I'll take it as a compliment nonetheless. Welcome to the Chaldea Security Organization, Director Musik. You must be tired after your long trip here. Not at all. Aside from the month we lost due to waiting around in the blizzard for it to clear up, it was a most pleasant trip indeed. Now then, without further ado, Leonardo da Vinci, was it? How do you keep forgetting her name? Everyone in the world knows the name of Da Vinci. Just call me Da Vinci, or Castor, if you find that too much to remember. Very well. Castor should more than suffice. I'm told that you have been filling in as the director of Olga Marie Atmosphere, and the acting director Romani Arkman suffered some unfortunate accidents that led them to being unable to perform their duties. Your hard work is appreciated, but no longer required. As of now, I'm assuming sole command of Chaldea. What's more... Oh. As much as I hate to do so, I'll be taking all of you into custody. Immediately. Oh, okay. Easy there, Mash. Gabriel, just play it nice and cool. My, what an unpleasant surprise. Custody, you say. Did I hear that right? I'm afraid that you have no grounds to do so. Not until this investigation is over, at least. Have the powers to be already ruled Chaldea as no more than a criminal cartel, and you simply have neglected to inform us? Because I'm quite sure that if that were the case, then you would have come with more in the way of soldiers. We are the mysterious organization that saved the whole world, after all, and if there's warrant out for our arrest, then you could have come with a small army at the very least. But you only brought a paltry 40 soldiers. Doesn't seem to fit the task, does it? So this isn't something the Mage Association has decided, but a call you made on your own, right? Why don't we get the association on the phone to see what they have to say about this? Or would you prefer that I didn't do that? Grr. What's the meaning of this? I'm never gonna pronounce his name right. Koyanskaya. That servant is too smart for her own good. Didn't you tell me that the only people left in Chaldea were a bunch of engineers and masters who are still wet behind the ears? I thought that there wasn't supposed to be anyone here who would disobey me. Yes, Your Excellency. That was my understanding when I was introducing this property to you. My report must have been in error. Sorry about that. I'm afraid that this servant is a reprehensible villain who does not know her place, and she doesn't have to. She thinks she doesn't have to listen to those of us in the Mage Association. Wait a moment. Wouldn't a familiar who doesn't obey the Mage Association be somewhat dangerous? Come now, Your Excellency. That won't do. You need to be aggressive. Show these people who's boss. Don't worry. We at the NFF services specialize in these sort of unlikely situations. Even if worst comes to worst, we won't let them lay a finger on you. Of course, that is still special additional service, so it won't come cheap. What is this? Don't tell me you're trying to shake me down yet again. Your Excellency? Yes, I know. Don't worry. I'm a man of action when I need to be. You got quite a mouth on you, don't you, Leonardo? Just to be clear, this is so far from the only personnel I brought with me from the association. Our helicopter will be back and forth, ferrying many personnel who are still on the boat. All told, there are about 120 security guards who have yet to arrive. It would be all too easy to take over Chaldea with force, I assure you, and that decision was the Mage Associations would back wholeheartedly. We would be well within our rights to consider the entire current staff criminals, and to haul them all up here and lock them away while investigating Chaldea. Having said that, I would prefer to avoid violence, should that be possible. Most of you would be fired regardless, but if you prefer we part on amicable terms. As such, I will have the four of you kept in a single room. You will wait there until the inquiry board summons you for your individual hearings. During that time, we will proceed with our inquiry into Chaldea's activities while we begin to transition over to the new staff. How does that sound? I believe this is the most peaceful option on the table. I dare say that you wouldn't get such a generous offer from another member of a wealthy mage family, like those blinded by their pride and brand ranks. They may think of those like you with no talent for magecraft as little more than slaves, but not me. Above all, I'd like to spare myself the tedium of torturing you for every little piece of information. I prefer to let Koyanskaya handle that. You should be grateful that I'm such a gentleman. Just do as I say and you'll be released soon enough. I see. So the Mage Association certainly sent us quite the piece of work, didn't they? Thank you for that breathtaking display of chivalry, Director Musik. Now, may I ask you something? I'd like to know why you brought up the rights to why you bought the rights to Chaldea. Surely this little research lab in the middle of nowhere can't have much interest. Not much of interest. Huh, I'll be the judge of that. True, Chaldea doesn't enjoy the best reputation in the clock tower. I can't count how many times I've heard them say things like, "The magecraft theories are nonsense, and they're a bunch of complete incompetent frauds. They're a disgrace to the 12 Lords." To hear them talk, you think that they were discussing a problem child that they wish never been born. But not me. I believe there's tremendous value to be found here. Chaldea really shows promise. Or at least it will once I'm instated as director. At any rate, when I learned that Chaldea was being broken up into 7 parts and auctioned off, I made my decision and took action. I used the entirety of the Musik family fortune to buy all of Chaldea's assets to prevent it from dismantling. You see, the clock tower people were desperate to get their hands on the technology they could bring back to their respective departments. But I just detest them. I couldn't stand to see them get what they wanted. An organization needs to be all of its parts, just like the human body. It's barbaric to try to carve out its heart or lop off one of its arms. I wanted Chaldea in its natural, untarnished state, and now I have it. But I suppose there's an exception to every rule. The staff of an organization may be its lifeblood, but we won't be keeping them around. Ha ha ha. There you go, Gabriel. As you can see, he's hardly the most formidable opponent we've ever faced. I believe that's more than enough in the ways of pleasantries, Director Musik. You are the future of Chaldea, and they are the past. There's no need for you to reach any sort of understanding with them, nor for them to talk. Hang on. There's no need for you to reach any sort of understanding with them, nor for them to like you. More importantly, now that the church is ready to investigate, I would like to begin as soon as possible. Indeed. You make an excellent point, Father Kodamine. Oh, no. Oh, yes, allow me to introduce you. This is Kirei. Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Kirei Kotamine. Where were you back during the Fate Zero event? Oh boy. I knew he was in the game, I just didn't know when he was showing up. He's also not a summonable servant yet either. I'm a priest sent here to investigate on behalf of the Holy Church. I'll be staying here for a few days until the investigation is concluded. It's a pleasure to meet the saviors of humanity, people of Chaldea. I may not be long here, but I hope that we can help one another out during my stay. Man, somebody go get Kiritsugu in here. I can't believe Chaldea's disciplinary room is now being used as confinement cells. You said it. I knew we were going to end up stuck in here, but I would have loosened the purse strings when it came to the budget. Just look at these rock-hard beds, this obsolete air conditioner, the cut-rate lighting. It may have been a confinement cell all along. At least we're technically allowed to have it if we want, but still. Or we're allowed to leave it if we want, but still. Yeah, at least our bathroom's separate from the dining area. I don't care for the way that new director does business, but I'm glad we're all together. Agreed. I'd be lying if I said I didn't suspect some ulterior motive in keeping us around like this, but it's definitely better than keeping us apart. Still, acting director Da Vinci, I think I have a handle on who Mr. Goredolf is now, but those two, Miss Koyanskaya and Father Kodamine, you still don't know what their deal is, right? I haven't been able to get a read on them either. I can tell they're not your everyday secretary and priest, but that's all I can tell. I can't get a read on their magecraft abilities either. All I know about Father Kodamine is that he's from the Holy Church, another organization that's long butted heads with the Mage Association. As the name suggests, the Holy Church is a mysterious organization based on a religion that has followers all around the globe. They see mystics as something that's solely under their domain, and suffer neither magecraft nor heresy in the name of their lord. Their mission is more or less to bring all human knowledge under their control. They were a lot more aggressive about it back when I was alive, but nowadays they seem to be playing their cards much closer to their chest. I'm guessing that the priests must be part of their combat team. Executors, I think they call them, or Inquisitors. They're supposed to be devotees of the Blade of... Wait. They're supposed to be devotees of the Blade who spread God's teachings in his absence. That's all you need to know about them. These Inquisitors are both faithful and heretical, monsters who fight mages and mystical creatures. They may not be a match for servants, but they are frighteningly powerful in a fight. True, I can tell that the priest is an adept at hunting and fighting. Or at least that he's that's what Galahad is telling me. As far as Koyanskaya, we know a little about her. We know so little about her that it's almost comical. She isn't affiliated with either the Mage Association or the Holy Church. It looks like she was the one who may have convinced Goredolf to acquire Chaldea. Aside from that, she did mention the NFF services. I've heard of them before. They make headlines in Russia about 6 months ago. They're a private military company. Mercenaries, basically. Word has it that they're a group of specialists who never met a job they didn't like. I think they go around billing themselves as global kitschy business consultants. Russia, huh? The Mage Association doesn't have much sway there. So how did she and Goredolf come to know one another? No, wait. There are a number of academics among the new staff, and they're all from the NFF services. In which case, they must plan on reviving Team A with the new staff alone. What? That's insane. Don't they know how much constant attention and adjusting the coffins is required during the unthawing process? We've done more than anyone, and it still has a huge chance of failure, even for us. There's no way that people who have never done it before can pull it off on their own. Yep, pretty solid chance they'll fail, and Chaldea's 7 A-ranked masters will be lost for good. Of course, that may be the point. Gabriel, get out here. The inspectors want to talk to you. Well now, it looks like they're not wasting time getting to the interrogations party started. I'm surprised that they kicked things off with you, though. Wait and see what their game is. Remember, silence is golden. Try not to say any more than it's absolutely necessary. Not like I actually know anything. Good. The case inspector is waiting for you in room 3. Just answer his questions honestly, and you'll be released in no time. Don't even think about trying to resist. Ugh. 6 hours. Endless questions. You look exhausted, little boy. Is this your first time playing with the big boys? Then you better hurry up and learn how the game is played. As they say, experience is every... Ah! Whoa! Q! Foe? Oh, is this your cat? Sorry, I couldn't help but hit it back. Q! Hey, get your mitts off, Foe! Whoops, clumsy me. Now I've gone and stepped on it. But what can you do? Well, I can break your neck for starters. You like that? This is how it goes when the weak attacks the strong. Maybe once upon a time this thing was a bit more impressive, but now it's just a puny little hairball. That's the way of the world when it finds itself under the heel of a strong animal now, don't you think? Hey, get away from Foe! Oh, so wild. How brave of you to bare your fangs for your little pet. You seem cuter now that they're barely more than nubs. But I can't let it go. No, not after what a wind did to my perfect skin with its little claws. Normally, I'd break a leg or two so it knows not to mess with me again, but I might be willing to let it go unharmed, if you agree to chat with me for a bit. So what do you say? Care to swap secrets with little old me? I'm trusting you to keep your word. Now, settle down, little foe. Your owner and I are getting down to the brass tacks after all. Alright, now that we have an agreement, my dear Gabriel, here's my first question. How much do you know about Chaldea? I'm told you were scouted into some random country and you were brought here directly. But no matter how you slice it, you were born into a commoner's family. I bet you didn't even know the first thing about magecraft before you came here, did you? No, don't answer. It's all over your face. I see. So you have strong aptitude for race shifting. I can't believe that you came all this way on that alone. Do you even know where you are? They probably didn't even tell you which country Chaldea is located in, did they? All I know is we're on a very tall mountain. You're at the heart of one of the most secluded areas in the world. One not on the borders of any other nation. An unobservable mountain that's been hidden behind a barrier of magecraft for hundreds of years. Had Chaldea actually told you where you'd be going when they recruited you? I doubt that you'd have ever signed up. I could practically see your protests, asking if they've lost their mind, expecting you to go so far away. Trust me, this place is as isolated as you can get. I could show you the 6 months worth of paperwork it took to buy this place to prove it. But never mind that. That doesn't concern you anyway. The thing I'm dying to learn more about is the original 48 Masters. Of those, 9 are still here. Mash Cryolite, the 7 Team A Masters in Cryo Storage, and you. The other 39 have been revived and sent home. No doubt they went back to living their lives in peace, but the thing is, the personnel information still goes for a very high price. And why wouldn't it? Now that it's been proven that reshifting is possible, each one of those candidates is worth their weight in gold. But none of them were likely to fetch as high a price as Team A. They're the 7 people who were originally meant to save the world, not you. Oh wait, that's not right, is it? Let me rephrase that. 7 people from whom you stole the opportunity of a lifetime. Hey. Okay, that's enough out of you, my little foot. Oh, okay, you know what? Think you can kneel for me like a good weakling before the plane comes in for a landing? Okay, you know what? Get my command seals. I got a couple servants I'd like to introduce to this lady. Now then, tell me, how much do you know about those 7 people? Don't tell me you've never heard anything about them the whole time you've been here. They're your great senpai, after all. I'm pretty sure that even Mash knows a thing or two about them. After all, they were trained together to be masters long before you even knew what Chaldea was. No way. You really have no idea. Never mind their magecraft affinity, you don't even know their names? You're kidding. I didn't know you were so cold-hearted, Gabriel. In that case, you really can't blame them if they wake up pissed off at you, can you? After all, you stole everything from them. Their jobs, their purpose, even their place at Chaldea. Foe! Oh my, that was so close. Come now, little foe. You shouldn't keep going after a lady's face. Keep acting like that, and I might just have to defend myself. Maybe by biting off your head. Then that would be it for you, and you wouldn't have any more chances to learn again, would you? Oh, drat, look at the time. I'm supposed to meet Sir Goredolf soon. So, on that note, I think I'll be on my way now. No more wasting time with a know-nothing patsy. Lucky for you, you're so ignorant, isn't it, Gabriel? If you knew anything at all about even one of the Team A Masters, I'd be rushing you off to grill you about them in solitary for as long as it took. But sadly, it looks like that Honeylicious branch isn't available to us, so bye for now. And be careful when a beautiful woman comes your way from now on. Trust me, you won't want to find yourself falling for the honeypot. Someone give me a gun, I'm gonna put a bullet in the back of her head. Woo! She's gone. Finally. Woo! Welcome back, Senpai. I see you met up with Foe along the way. He's been hanging out for a while, so I'm relieved to see him with you. Senpai, is something wrong? Did the investigation go badly? It's about Team A. Team A? Now you mention it, I never did tell you about them, did I? I didn't mean to keep it from you, we just never really had the time to discuss them. That's true, especially since the 7 Team A Masters ended up not being at all involved in stopping the incineration of humanity. But now that they're all about to be thawed out, when we have nothing better to do, it seems as good time as any to tell you a little bit about them. You see, one's named Murdoch, one's named Face, one's named BA, and the other one is named Hannibal. Team A refers to a group of A-ranked masters handpicked by Chaldea. Mass was originally part of this team too. First up, okay, let's see. Kusharia Wodaim. The chairman of the Animosphere-controlled astromancy department of one of the Clock Tower's 12 departments of study, and the official Team A leader. He's the head of an exceptionally distinguished Wodaim family whose name and magical circuits have both been around for thousands of years. He's also Marsbury's top pupil, been rumored to be a better heir to the lordship than Olga Marie. He was expected to forge a contract with a Lancer. In terms of overall magecraft ability, he was head and shoulders above the rest. Ophelia Farms Solon was the prodigy of the evocation department. She possessed this special mystic eye, so she wore an eye patch that made her really stand out, even here. She was expected to forge a contract with a Saber, but she seemed to be very particular about what sort of heroic spirit she would contract with. Kadok Zelmapus. Nothing special as far as mages go, but his affinity for race shifting was exemplary. His story is pretty similar to yours, seeing as he was one of the only ordinary members among all the geniuses on Team A. But his kindness more than made up for it, even if it did descend into self-deprecation at times. Yes, I remember. Kadok was always concerned for others. Though he did have a pessimistic side, which bothered him as much as anyone else. He was expected to form a contract with a caster. He didn't have much magical energy, so he wanted to avoid combat-oriented service who would guzzle everything up before he had even begun the fight. Next up, Scandinavia Peperoncino. Yes, you heard me. Scandinavia Peperoncino. Nobody knows his origins, but he's using a pseudonym, obviously. He was a freelance mage Marsbury recruited after they met abroad. Cheerful and funny, and he was always that joke that kept Team A's spirits high. He's the oldest member of the team. You can see that he was a man a bit ahead of his time. He was expected to form a contract with an archer. He had an Italian air about him, but he was also strangely knowledgeable about Buddhism. Naturally, he knew a lot about Indian mythology. He said that he liked myths about cycles of death and rebirth. So he probably would have ended up with Arjuna. Akudo Hinako. She got to start in Yumina, the botany department, which is tied to the studies of witches at the clock tower. She used to be part of Chaldea's engineering team before her latent talents were spotted and she was added to the pool of master candidates. She's the kind of person who would have been happy doing nothing more than curling up with a good book from morning till night. But she had a strange aura about her that you couldn't help but notice. Come to think of it, Romani used to sulk about how she'd never come in for routine physicals. She was expected to form a contract with a writer. That was really important to her for some reason. Next, Barrel Gut. As for him, I guess we don't have to cover all the masters in depth. Moving on. Last but not least, we have, David Semvoid. He was something of an enigma, really. A loose cannon, you could say. Even got himself banned from his department at the Mage Association. That would be the Folklore Department, or Brishan, if you're wondering. They deal with otherworldly artifacts. It's an unorthodox field to study, despite being led by the Clock Tower's Chancellor. Anyway, Marsbury had the highest regard for David's talent. I thought it a really rare find, too. There's only one, maybe two other people I recognized as geniuses even when I was alive. And David was right up there with them. He never tried to understand anyone else, and no one tried to understand him. Or no one else really understood him. He was expected to form a contract with a berserker, though no one expected him and his servant to reach any sort of understanding. And that's every master on Team A. Quite the cast of characters, right? But don't let that get to you. If anything, they're the ones who would be timid around you now. They may be your senpai a year ago, but now you're the senpai and you've got the experience to prove it. Team A is nothing if not a meritocracy. They respect people based on their accomplishments, and yours have been pretty incredible. In fact, if I were you, I wouldn't bank on getting any sleep for a week or so when they're awake. They'll constantly be bugging you to tell them all about your experiences and the singularities. Woodheim has a great tea stash, so you can expect from a noble. Kadok can be shy, but he's very studious, and he's usually into mythology. Pepe was a great listener. Even Akuda, who usually never said much of anything, would open up in front of him. Indeed, if you have, I have no doubt that half of Team A would get along great with you, Gabriel. Which is exactly why I'm concerned. Thawing them out now will have a profound effect on Chaldea's future. Goredolf is moving full steam ahead with the thaw, but it'll still take at least 4 days to get the equipment ready. I can only hope that they'll finish investigating the current staff before they can get started. I agree. Our term lasts till the very end of the year. So if the investigation concludes on the 31st, we might just be able to help them with the thaw. The very end of the year. Only 4 days left to go. Woo! Right. Whether you stay or go, this is our last problem to handle. Or this is still our problem to handle, at least for now. If something should go down, it'd definitely be on the last day of the year, the 31st. So let's just be patient, keep our guard up, and wait for the right opportunity. Sound good, Master of Chaldea?